just weren't sure exactly what we'd see from the Hoosiers this year, replacing 2 starters. But Terry Morin feels like this is the deepest team she's had in years. The same could be said for Lisa Bluder's Iowa Hawkeyes. It's the 3rd straight year they've returned this starting 5.
Well, Lisa Bluder told us today at shooting practice, when asked about that kind of continuity and chemistry, she said it just feels normal. It feels like it's the way it's supposed to be. Next year it'll be different when players leave, and she said she didn't want to think about that right now.
She's living
we
in the
don't
moment.
either. We don't want to think about that either, but I tell you what, the continuity for both of these teams has been in the winning column. Indiana, they've won 10 consecutive games. Iowa, they've won 8 consecutive games. To dominate in that fashion, being, again, at the top of everyone's scout, it doesn't matter.
First top 5 matchup in Big Ten women's basketball in 30 years. And here we go from Simon Scott Assembly Hall. Indiana controls the tip in the all-white home uniforms.
The defense for Iowa is player to player, as Lisa Bluder likes to call it, man-to-man defense out of the gates.
And right out of the gate, Mackenzie Holmes knocks down a jumper.
Mackenzie Holmes doesn't need to have her back to the basket to get a bucket, and that is a matchup, my friends, that you need to circle and watch on every single possession. Mackenzie Holmes and Monica Czinano for Iowa.
Tapped out of bounds. Great defense by the freshman. Yarden Garzone, as we talked about, replacing a couple of starters. One of those being Allie Patberg, one of the toughest players in program history, and yet, Christy, she feels like this team has a different level of toughness.
Yeah, she said they're different in terms of their experience, right? And that's, you can't quantify what that means for your team.
There's on the interception. Up ahead to Parrish, rejected at the rim. Had them sit in a circle at midcourt, as she always does, but her message today was different. We are road dogs, she said. We have won on the road in front of big environments. Tonight is no different.
I love it. And Caitlin Clark kind of tagged that when she was speaking with us as well, talking about the road dog mentality. They brought that up last season and have carried it over this year as well. Earlier this year, they played at Ohio State when Ohio State was ranked 2nd in the country. So Monica Czinano said that gives us confidence to know that we can do something like that.
Czinano stripped by Parrish. All the way to the basket.
Sydney Parrish has been for this Hoosiers team.
And Czinano ends the run promptly, a 2,000-point score, and part of the law firm.
Yeah, the law firm of Clark and Czinano. We had that T-shirt made up last year. And they sent me one, you know, I was like, oh, wow, that's awesome.
Caitlin Clark, her first shot of 3.
How about the string music for Caitlin Clark from the outside?
Well, she's been even better in league play, which is hard to fathom, but she shot 47% from downtown over the last 2 games. And here she is again, back-to-back 3s.
I mean, look out.
The unquestioned leader for Indiana, and she rolls it down.
Grace Berger missed 8 games earlier this season with a knee injury. You see it wrapped up there.
Gabby Marshall. More McNeil.
That was a good, clean look.
Home run pass to Warnock, and she pays it off.
Well, that's one of the main reasons why Iowa scores 88 points per game, because they push with the pass. They don't mess around with it. They sprint and rim run and finish in the paint.
And Christy, we were here for a record-breaking crowd just a couple of weeks ago against Ohio State. This might be a bigger crowd here tonight.
I think so. I mean, they're coming to see some great Big Ten basketball, where 6 teams are in the top 25 and 4 in the top 10.
Indiana with its highest ranking in program history, checking in at number 2 in the polls this week. On the wrong end of a 13-2 run. Scalia, first 3 of the game for Indiana. It's taken her a little bit of time, Christy, but now she's scored in double figures in 3 out of the last 5.
Sometimes it's the timing of when you get your shots, not necessarily where you're shooting it from, and I think that's been the adjustment for her.
Sydney Parrish. We've yet to see her take a shot tonight, but she's averaging 18 a game over the last 3 for IU. First-year Oregon transfer on the floor. Berger counted in the foul.
Grace under fire. Grace Berger right here, putting you in the spin cycle, bringing it back the other way, gets tagged on the arm on the way up. What a strong finish with this execution. Just top notch for Grace Berger in terms of her phenomenal footwork to spin back around, give herself enough space and the perfect angle.
Two of the best bigs in the conference, two of the best bigs in the country. Warnock on a great feed.
What a phenomenal find by Caitlin Clark there. She just baits you to sleep and sends in a sizzler of a pass.
There's Paris from downtown. Clark. Second chance, rejected by Holmes. This is not just two top 5 teams, but two teams separated by a half game in the Big Ten regular season. Iowa, of course, won a share of it last year, but Indiana has not won since the inaugural season in 1983.
My goodness, I mean, these two teams were matched up in the tournament championship. Mackenzie Holmes was not healthy in that game, as Terry Morin reminded us of today. At this juncture of the season, as Terry Morin is trying to get some clarification on positioning down there.
Our officials, Roy Gulbayan, Julie Cromenhoek, Felicia Grinter, and Caitlin Clark will get a 3-point opportunity at the foul line. And Glenn Box, an assistant coach for Indiana, is off the bench saying she kicked her leg out.
Well, let's see. There's a snatch back right there. Let's see if her leg comes out to create the contact. And I don't think it did it? I mean, Chloe Moore-McNeil was on the other side of it. I mean, she's got to be able to jump up and come down. It didn't look like she intentionally stuck her leg out to me.
25% of her points per game coming from the stripe.
Just under 9 assists per contest, so she's making plays. But she is supplying so much.
Here's Holmes, defended by Czinano. Holmes flicks it up and in.
I try to tell you.
3. Good rebound. Stuelke puts it back.
I mean, Caitlin Clark just puts you in a spinner. She gave her teammates a chance to get to the glass.
Speaking of the spinner, how about Grace Berger off the window?
Well, she loves to utilize her strong body for positioning like that. Get some leverage with that body contact.
Clark, no, tapped around and secured by Garzon.
And react as necessary as competitors.
Berger with the ball. Inside to Holmes. And she walked. The Holmes will come out. She doesn't pick up a foul here at the end. Czinano, the handoff, 2 seconds. And they won't get the shot off in time. Well defended by Indiana. Two top 5 teams tied at 19.
Have microphone, will call games. The sign I carry around. Got everything there for us, I think. Oh yeah, 12. There you go.